Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to show you how to make this Squid Game soldier. It's a keychain. It's pretty fast to make, to crochet, and very easy. The colors that you need is hot pink, black and white. You also need a keychain. I'm using a 2.00 crochet hook. Never mind the wrapping. I do it because it hurts my fingers. Anyway, so I'm going to start off. It is so with black yarn. We're going to start from the legs going up. So I'm going to make a magic ring. That is how I make my magic ring. And I'm going to single crochet in the magic ring 6 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. I'm going to close that tight. I'm going to use a stitch marker. I normally use another color yarn. Okay, so next row we are going to do two single crochets in the next one stitch, making them a total of 12. So 1, 2, 1, 2. With black yarn it's a bit hard to see for you guys, but in total you should have 12 stitches by the end of this row. 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2. Next row we are going to do 1 single crochet in each 12 stitches. You can pull that. So 1 single crochet in each stitch, making them a total of 12. For the next, we are going to do that for the next 2 rows. So 1 single crochet in each of the 12 stitches. Okay, so 1 single crochet for the next 2 rows. You should have a total of 12 stitches. Stitch marker. So this is my second row. 2, 3, 10, 11 and 12. So we are going to change color to hot pink, and to do that we're not on the last stitch, on the 12th stitch, you're not going to finish that stitch. Instead you're going to pick the hot pink color yarn. You're going to pick and you're going to join here, join there, and then we're going to continue 1 single crochet for the next 3 rows. Make sure you crochet on the other, over the other yarn, so that you don't have to sew in the ends. That's what I mean. So I'm going to crochet over the black and the other hot pink, like that. So we're going to do this for the next 3 rows. 1 single crochet in each stitch, 1 single crochet in each stitch for 1, 2, 3 rows. and I'll meet you at the end. So I'm at the end of the third row of the different color, the hot pink color. So remember, you're making two of these, the legs, you're making two the same way. So on the second one, do not fasten off. So we're going to chain 2, pick our other leg, then we're going to join. You're going to join on the next stitch from where you fastened off. Going to work on top of that, so like that, and single crochet on that. Okay, so we're going to single crochet all around in the next, is it like 26 stitches, single crochet in each stitch. So 1 single crochet all around. You can work over this scrap yarn so that you don't have to hide it. 1 single crochet, so I'm going to single crochet all around like that. Single crochet in each. Be careful with this so that it doesn't leave a gap. Single crochet on the chain 2, single crochet on the chain 2, the chain 2 that we made, we're going to single crochet on that. Here we go. 1 single crochet, and on the next single crochets, on the next chain, you're going to go round like that. So single crochet on the next here, nicely, and single crochet around like that. So we're going to go ahead and continue. I want us to do on the chain 2 that we did at the back of on the, is it the other side, we're going to single crochet 1, put up a stitch marker, and single crochet another one, single crochet another one on the other side of the 2 single crochets that we did, on the 2 chains that we did, like that. Then we are going to do another row of single crochets all around. I want us to do 3 more single crochets all around. This is our beginning stitch that we've already done, so we are going to do 3 more, and I'll meet you at the beginning. So I'm at the end of the 3 rows that we did with hot pink, and I want us to attach the black yarn so that we can create an illusion of a belt with buckles. So I do not want us to cut the hot pink yarn, so we're going to carry that along. So with attach your black yarn, like that. So I'm going to crochet along together with the hot pink, so that I can create the buckles, an illusion of the buckle. So I'm going to crochet in the next 3 stitches with black yarn. Remember, you're carrying along the hot pink so that we can do an illusion of a buckle, belt buckle. So 1, 2 and 3. So in the next stitch I'm going to pick the hot pink yarn and I'm going to crochet 1 with the hot pink. I'm going to crochet 1 like that, and then in the next stitch I'm going to pick the black and do 3 more single crochets. 1, 2, 3. That is what I want us to do. So we are going to do 3, and we are going, the next stitch we're going to do with hot pink. Don't forget to crochet this over this like that. So crochet with hot pink, and then in the next stitch pick up the black yarn and do 3 single crochets. 1, 2, 3. Next with hot pink. Oh dear, I forgot to pick up that, so I can undo. Don't forget to crochet this, to crochet over it. 1, 2, 3. Pick up the hot pink, crochet over the black. 1, crochet over the hot pink, 3 single crochets with black. 1, 2 and 3, and with hot pink. 1, and then with black. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2 and 3, and then with hot pink we're going to crochet 1 and take this, crochet 1 with hot pink, then with black I'm going to crochet 3. 2, 3. With hot pink I'm going to do 1, pink, crochet 1, and then I'm going to do 1, 2, 3 in the next 4 stitches. So in total you should be having around 28 single crochets. So I'm going to do it with black. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's so you can cut off the black yarn. So in the next row we're going to do, like, I want us to do like 5 rows of single crochets, actually 4 rows of single crochets, because the other one we will do decreases. So in the next in this next row we are going to do single crochets in each stitch for the next 4 rows. So I can cut off the black yarn now, just cut it off. I'm going to do 1 single crochet in each stitch. stitch around, single crochet and single. You can stuff the doll as you go, but I like stuffing at the end because mine just confuses me. But if you want, you can stuff it like right now. So one single crochet in each stitch. So we're going to do one single crochet for the next 4 rows, and I'll meet you after the 4 rows. So I'm at the end of that row. In the next row, I want us to do a row of decreases. So we're going to do one single crochet in the next 3 stitches, 1, 2, and 3. And then we are going to invisible decrease on the next stitch. This is how we do the invisible decrease. We are going to pick the front loop, yarn over, pick the front loop of the next stitch, yarn over, and go through all 3 stitches. That is an invisible decrease. In the next 3 stitches, we are going to do one single crochet in each. Next stitch, we are going to do an invisible decrease in the next 2 stitches. So we are going to insert hook on the front loop, yarn over, insert hook on the next front loop of the next stitch, yarn over, and go through all 3. Make sure they are tight so that it doesn't leave a gap. So we're going to do one single crochet in the next 3 stitches, 1, 2, and 3. Next stitch, you're going to do invisible decrease, invisible decrease, and then single crochet in the next 3 stitches, then invisible decrease again, and then 3 single crochets, 1, 2, and 3, and invisible decrease, like that. Then you're going to do one single crochet in the next 3 stitch. So we can now stuff the doll with polyfill. Is how it looks like so far. So next we are going to do the arms. So I don't want to cut off this yarn, so what I normally do is I pick the other side of the yarn to use. But to start off, we're going to start the arm with black yarn. So again, we're going to do the magic ring, single crochet in the next 2 stitches, in the magic ring do 6 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, tighten that, you're going to do 2 arms, so you're going to do 2 of this. You can pick a stitch marker again. Now row 1, we are going to do 2 single crochets in the next, 2 single crochet in the next stitch, like that. In the next stitch we're going to do 1 single crochet. Next stitch we're going to do 2 single crochets. Next stitch we're going to do 1. Next we're going to do 2. Next we are going to do 1, making them a total of 9 single crochets. So in the next row we are going to do 1 single crochet in each stitch, in each of the 9 stitches. 1 single crochet, and then with black yarn we are going to do 1 more single crochet, 1 more row of single crochets. So 1 more row of single crochets, like that. So I'm going to attach the hot pink yarn, and I'm going to do a row of single crochet first. I like crocheting over my other yarn before I cut, so I'm going to crochet over the 2 of them, over that. And then you can cut off the black yarn. Hiding them inside there. Right, like that. Okay, so 1 row of single crochets. Sorry. So we're going to do a row of single crochets in the next 9 stitches for the next 5 rows, and I'll meet you at the end. 5 rows of single crochets. So I'm at the end of that, of the 5 rows, and I've made 2 arms. So I'll go ahead and stuff them with polyfill. Don't stuff them too firmly, just enough. It's just enough. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and fasten off. And then I'll pick my other piece, the body, going to single crochet in the next 5 stitches. 1, sorry, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and pick one arm and hold it in half like that. So I'm going to insert my hook all the way. I'm going to insert my hook on top of the half of the chains on top, and then I'll go ahead and insert it on the next side as well. So I've done like on top of 2 single crochets that are across each other, and then I'll come and insert it on the 6th single crochet, and I'll yarn through all the, it's like 3 single crochets like that. So I'm going to repeat that in the next stitch. So I'll go through all these two and these other 2 and the next single crochet on the body, and yarn through all of them, make a single crochet through all of them. I'll repeat that one more time, another time, like that. I'll do that one more time for the last set of single crochets. Sorry, like that, the next like that. Let me redo it again. I go through all of them. Oh, this last one is so hard to go through. Oh, I'm doing it on the wrong side. Like that. So I'll go ahead and single crochet in the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 single crochets. In the next 7 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Actually, I'm going to do another one, 8. So I'll pick my other arm and I'm going to hold it in half like that, and then I'm going to single crochet through, insert my hook here, insert my hook here, insert my hook on the body on the next single crochet like that, and go through all of them. Going to do it 3 more times. Like that. Another one. And again the last time. you can go ahead and single crochet in the next 2 stitches. So on the last row for this round, I'm going to do 1 single crochet in each stitch all around, and then I'll fasten off. So 1 single crochet in each stitch, one single crochet, so I'm going to do 1 single crochet all around, and I'll meet you at the end. So I'm at the end of that row. Okay, and I just finish up that stitch, and I'm going to slip stitch on the next stitch like that, and fasten off, leaving a long tail so that I can sew in the head. Okay, so leave a long tail so that you can sew in the head. So you can set this aside and pick your black yarn. So we're going to start doing the head with black yarn. Make sure you have a stitch marker, because this black yarn is very hard to see. So I can remove this. It's so hard to see. So I'm going to do my magic ring again. I'm going to do 6 single crochets in the magic ring. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Can close this up and put the stitch marker. So we're going to do 1 single crochet in the next 6 stitches, making them a count of 12. So sorry, two single crochets in each stitch. It's like an increase. So 1, 2 in the repeat the same. So 1 stitch and another one in the same stitch, 1 and another one. Repeat that all around, making them 12. So next row we are going to do 2 single crochets in the same stitch, 1 single crochet in the next, 2 single crochet, 1 single crochet, repeat all around, 2, 2 single crochets, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and 1. Next row we are going to increase in the neck okay, we're going to do the increases again. So we are going to do 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches and 2 single crochets in the next stitch in the same stitch. So 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches and 2 single crochets in the next 1 stitch in the same stitch. So that's an increase. So 1 and 2 and 2 single crochets in the next stitch all around. So 1 and 2 and 2 in the next, and then 1 and 2 and 2 in the next stitch, 1 and 2 and 2 in the last stitch. So we're going to do the last row of increases, and to do that we are going to single crochet in the next one stitch, and we are going to do 2 single crochet increase in the next stitch. Next stitch I'm going to do 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches and 2 single crochets in the next 1 stitch. Next stitch 1, 2, 3 stitches, single crochet, and increase in the next stitch. 1 stitch in the next 3 stitches and increase in the next 1 stitch. 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches and increase in the next. So 1, 2 and 3, and increase in the next stitch. And then I'm going to do 1 single crochet in the last 2 stitches. So we're going to build up the head, and to do that I'm going to single crochet all around. 1 single crochet all around. So 1 single crochet in each stitch, and I'll meet you here at the end. So I'm at the end of that row of single crochets only, and we're going to repeat that single crochets in the next 6 rows. So we're going to do 6 more rows of single crochets. So 6 rows of single crochet. So this is the first one. We're going to do, okay, this is the first one of the 6 that we are going to do. So you're going to repeat that all around 6 times, and I'll meet you after the 6 rounds of single crochets. So I'm at the end. So in total you'll have 7 rows of single crochets. So the next row we are going to start decreasing. So we're going to single crochet in the next 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3, and then we are going to invisible decrease. So that is decreasing like we did the other time, decreasing from the front loops only. So we are going to repeat that all around. So 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches, 1, 2 in the next 3 stitches, and invisible decrease in the next 2 stitches, 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches, and invisible decrease in the next 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches, 2 and 3, and then you invisible decrease in the next, so 1 invisible decrease in the next 3, and then invisible decrease in this. No, it's hard to see with the black yarn. 1, but it's like we are making a ball. 2 and 3, and invisible decrease in here, invisible decrease here in the last stitch. Okay, like that. So in the next row we are going to decrease again. So we're going to do 1, 2 single crochets and invisible decrease in the next stitch, 2 stitches. We are going to repeat that all around. So 1 and 2 and invisible decrease, 1 and 2 then do the invisible decrease here. 1 and 2, invisible decrease, and I'm going to do that again. 1 and 2, decrease, and the next. One and 2, and decrease in the last 2 stitches. So in the next stitch, in the next row, we're going to do another decrease. So we're going to single crochet in the next 1 stitch. Okay, so 1 single crochet, and then in the next stitch we're going to do decreases. Again the same thing, 1, and then decrease in the next stitch all around. I'm going to repeat that. 1 and decrease, 1 single crochet and decrease in the next 2 stitches. And then you decrease in here, in this. 1 and decrease. 1 and decrease in the last 2 stitches. So here we can go ahead and fill in the form. Stuff the head nicely. Don't overstuff it so that it doesn't gap. Yeah, it doesn't show the gaps. Just make sure it's nice and round. So I'll decrease some more to close this. So I'll do decreases all around. Just normal decreases. then you can go ahead and cut the yarn, and then you can close this with a needle. So that's it for the head. Make it a bit round. Remove the stitch marker. Okay, so we can set this aside. We're going to make the hat. So basically the same way that we've done the head is the same way that we're going to do. Yes, but the only thing that we won't do is we won't do the last decreases. So we are going to repeat what we did with the head, but this time round we are going to do it with a hot pink yarn. So we're going to do a magic ring and 6 single crochets in the magic ring. 3, 4, 5 and 6, like that. Put a stitch marker. Okay, now to start off, we are going to do like we did with the head. We're going to do increases. So we're going to increase in each stitch, so 2 single crochets in each stitch. Two single crochets in each stitch. Next row we are going to do an increase and a single crochet, so 2 single crochets in that stitch. Then you're going to do 1 in the next, 2 in the next, 1, 2 in the next, 1, 2 in the next, 1, 2, 1, 2 and 1. Next row we are going to do an increase again. So this row we are going to do 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches and increase in the next stitch. 1, 2, increase in the next stitch. 1, 1 and 2, increase in the next stitch. 1 and 2, increase in the next. 1 and 2, increase. 1 and 2, and increase in the next. So next row we're going to do increases in the third chain. So we're going to single crochet in the first, and then we're going to increase in the next, and then we're going to do 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches and increase in the next. So 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches and increase in the next, increase in the next. 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches, increase in the next. 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches, increase in the next. 1 single crochet in the next, increase in the next. and 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches. So in the next 7 rows we are going to do single crochets all around in each stitch. So we're going to do single crochets in the next 7 rows, single crochet in each and every stitch in the next 7 rows. So single crochet all around 7 rows. So we're going to repeat that all around for the next 7 rows, and I'll meet you at the end. So I'm at the end. I'll just go right ahead and slip stitch on the next chain and fasten off. So I'm going to leave a bit of tail so that I can sew in the cup. Enough to sew in the cup, so like that. So I'm going to hold my cup like that, and I'll pick my head, and with the end here I'm going to hold it like that and squeeze it in like that. So my beginning is here, my end is here. I've hidden it there. So try to fix it so that it fits nicely like that. That is how it looks like. So you're going to sew in this cup with the tail that you've left, and then you're going to sew the head like that, and then I'll meet you so that we can finish this part together. Okay, so I'm done with my sewing in of the head. I'm not very good at sewing in pieces, but I've tried. Okay, so that is how it looks like. So I would want us to make the square and show you how to attach the keychain. So with white yarn, cut some and pick your blunt needle. Here is mine. So you would want it to be, I'm going to try to make it as centered as possible. I'll try, but so like that, and then I'm going to put the yarn from here. And I'm going to do it from here. So try to center the square as much as possible. To repeat that from here. And then finish. So basically that's it. You can try to center your square as much as possible. That is how mine looks like. I like the way it looks. Tighten that so much. going through the ends to make it a little bit tight. So, and cut it off. So you can go ahead and hide this. Also this one, you can hide it, pick it up from here and hide like that. Okay, so because this is going to be a keychain, I need to do some chains from up here so that I can put my, this is what I'll use because I want it to be on my kid's bag, so it's going to be a bag charm. So what I do is I'm going to, just see the center, attach my yarn, pink yarn, I'm going to do chains 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15. So you can do as many chains as you want your keychain, how tall you want it to be, and then you can attach it on the next chain, on the next single crochet, and fasten off all tight and snug like that. So I'm going to cut that, then I'm going to tie these two together and hide this yarn with my crochet hook. Sorry, I'm going to pick it from here. Hide these two. That. So you can go ahead and put your keys or on your bag, your handbag. Very nice. And we are done. Thank you so much guys for watching with me, hanging out with me. I hope the tutorial was good. I hope you try it. Thank you. Subscribe and comment.